Poems from the Left Coast, Z.M. Wise.
Would you mind?
I'd like to read my favorite poem from Songs of Experience by William Blake, and it's called London. Please bear with me. I wander through each chartered street, near where the chartered Thames does flow, and mark in every face I meet marks of weakness, marks of woe. In every cry of man, in every infant's cry of fear, in every voice, in every ban, the mind-forged manacles I hear. How the chimney sweepers cry, every blackening church appalls, and the hapless soldier's sigh runs in blood down palace walls. But most through midnight streets I hear how the youthful harlot's curse blasts the newborn infant's tear, and blights with plagues the marriage hearse. Thank yous. And this is a poetic dialogue I recently wrote, and I'd like to invite Weasel to be my guinea pig here. I'll be the interviewer and be the poet. This was actually inspired by a book by Saul Williams that I read recently. I'm sitting comfortably in the poet's apartment. One bedroom, a few bookshelves stand in place of a television set. The poet cannot stop writing in his notebook, spiral-bound and made in Mexico. Hello there, good poet. Do you have anything against television or the media?
The Q-tube, how it burns my very energy source. I do not wish to become one with the sofa suction. Media nightmare, a consistent feud of orgasmic guilt between two opposing adrenaline corners.
Oh, I see. Well, at least you're not bitter or cynical about this.
A perspective by tone, an outcome by voice's response. You are accelerated in speech, yet the words are sloths resting on lightweight branches. Words carry the weight of the world, high above standardized expectations, a touch of black, and I see the light in the distance.
All right, then. Do you insist on speaking in verse?
Why not? I'm well versed, after all. Composed on the tongue, the air is absorbent parchment. Your ears, the receiving end of it all.
Oh boy, I can already tell this will be an enlightening evening.
Then why carry on, fellow of multimedia mayhem?
Yeah. So, why should we read poetry? It's as best-selling as the Voynich manuscript.
Can you hear them? The metered, fixed, and free, requesting we preserve their wisdom, recite their polished cane, drown in their sorrowful sonnets, graze in the fields amongst passages that have been unpublished, homeless drafts. My home's library, foster care for the poem tomes.
So why should we write poetry? It is as unblemished as a dead language.
Ink children cannot manifest themselves. Their conception is sporadic from letters to words and words to lines and lines to stanzas. These verses regurgitate and ejaculate a potpourri of unorthodox delights. Ideas will never stop being recruited.
Indeed. Now then, your motto is poetry lives. Can't you see that it passed away long ago?
It's a rebirth. It's a revival. It is vibrant in every morsel of conversation. Greek lightning and Eastern firelight the way, igniting collected compositions and generating word power. My eyes and spirit have died. My body is a flesh vessel, but poetry will live on.
Really now? Where is this vibrancy, good poet?
It is a process of decimation and global scattering. Microscopic deities for your invisible viewing pleasure.
I see. Well, you certainly have me convinced. So, who passed down the poetry gene to you?
Primordial grandfather wise, secondary father right. Tips of their pens flick whilst listening to mother's side speak of love of language. Bibliophiles, the lot of them, I voluntarily subjugate myself to the passion of the written realm.
Well, your work is entirely brilliant. Do you even realize the magnitude of the gift you possess? Do you know how many lives have had an impact because of your creations?
My poems matter not. Mere crumbs stand next to the almighty bread loaves. They are specks of sand near the first towers, the contemporary voices. They guide my days meticulously.
What do you fear more, loss of love or loss of poetry?
Love not, write not. Love, a myth both feared and obsessed over, splits into the human duality within. Paper hearts cannot compare to her unrequited togetherness with her.
I see. While we're on the topic of love, I have an important question. Cliché descriptions aside, do you have a love in your life?
She is the heart's refugee, and I have salvaged her past sailing vessels. Her warmth reaffirms my lovelorn beliefs. Oh, existence, may I obtain another kiss for the voyage home, where my other heart lies. Our prolonged affair, wrapped in satin, flutters by after planting my feet down in dawn's soil, resuming my perpetual vow and marriage to poetry, the wordless goddess.
Well, how sentimental. Yeah, I can relate to that myself. So tell me true, can you predict the future of poetry? How will it affect the millennials and their children?
Individuality for the puppeteers of our novice-born generation. Gorgeous and pointless, the collective voices speak on paper and ponder out loud to philosophers. Philosophizing on their verandas. The future of poetry is the present with minimal assistance to the archaic past.
Splendid. So, good poet, are there any final words before we conclude this interview?
Final words? Final resting places and final words? None to stabilize the empty book pages, none to generalize the oracle, pleasing us bit by bit. Actions in picturesque, sacred, geometrical shapes, they speak deafening words, yet words will paint you a pretty picture.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you.